Hey, what's going on, all you Rick and Morty fans? Welcome to season 3 of episode 8 titled Morty's Mind Blowers, and this is my review on that. So, I'm just going to make this short because I'm a little bit busy, but I also want to get done with this review. Um, First things first is that I feel like everybody can agree on this, and it's just a simple notion that, like, I wanted, I wanted interdimensional cable. But instead, what we got was Morty's Mind Blowers. And I know they wanted to do something different because it was the third season. And I'm sure their fear is that they might not get another season. Because any show can cancel anytime. But they did they did Morty's Mind Blowers, and I feel like it would have been more fun if we had interdimensional cable. But aside from that, I guess it was an okay episode. It was just a little bit boring because last week's episode he got to see things like Evil Morty, all the Ricks and Mortys in the Citadel doing all these amazing things, and it like actually set up a plot line for like the fourth season and maybe the season finale if it goes that far. But just this episode in comparison is just horrible, you know. And I feel like anybody who's seen it, I haven't talked to anybody yet, but anybody is gonna have pretty much the same notion is that it wasn't that good of an episode. It was still funny. It made me laugh because some of the things I saw laugh was just like um I never noticed it, but Morty's school principal, his name is Principal Vagina. I knew that, but also that like his head is shaved. So I guess the joke is that he's a shaved vagina. I guess like is that the joke on Principal Vagina? I don't know. Just like when I was watching it for like the second time around, I actually noticed his name along with how he looks. I'm thinking, is that just a pun off of a shaved vagina or something like that? And I don't know. My first genuine laugh, like the first time I like actually laughed at Morty's mind blowing skits was just when it was when Morty's mother she picked Summer over Morty, and just when and like he put a gun over to her head and he told her to pick a child that she loves the most. You have to pick a kid. She didn't even hesitate. Bev didn't even hesitate one bit. She said, "Summer, Summer, I pick Summer," and like I'm just like, oh my god. I mean, guys, okay, guys, look, every parent has a favorite kid, but like the one rule is just that like you just never say it. But when she just said Morty, like I would have been like okay, but like she didn't even think about it. She just said Summer, which I just thought was hilarious. um. Oh yeah. Also, the one skit where Morty fucked with squirrels. I just thought I was really. Um. I mean, like it was a cool comeback to like the first season. How Rick said we only have about two more of these tops of like the exact same universe. But Morty screwed out one of them because he pissed off squirrels. Like Rick said, the one thing you don't fuck with, you never fuck with squirrels. That's the one thing you never fuck with is squirrels, Morty. Now you fucked us over, Morty. How because you wanted to go talk to squirrels, Morty. I just thought that was like hilarious. That was the one skit that I was just like laughing my ass off at. Just the one thing that Rick and Morty can never fuck with is squirrels. That's hilarious. That's genius. Um, Also, I saw this as a parody to The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. Because in that series, a lot of their horrible skits is just like pretty much side stories. I mean, like it's kind of like stories that just ever made it into being a actual 30 length episode. And I think Rick even pulled out like he broke the fourth wall when he even talked about it. Um, so when Morty goes through those red vials, he notices that all of the red bottles is when Rick has fucked up. And I find it really hilarious how that is the one thing that Rick covers up for himself. So my theory is that Rick isn't a god because he fucks up so much. Because we all have this high notion upon Rick being this unstoppable, smart as hell guy, but I think we forget that Rick is human too. And humans, they can actually make mistakes really, really easily. Sorry, my camera's it's like fucking up. But um, the fact that he takes into really consideration to erase all of Rick's embarrassing moments just proves that Rick is human. He just doesn't want to be perceived as human. Because we see one thing where Rick says, "Oh yeah, I shouldn't have taken that for granted." Morty says, "What? Granted? Don't you mean granted? How do you not? You're like the smartest guy in the universe. How are you gonna say granted and not granted? Like, what are you, a rock?" Rick's like, "Oh yeah, Morty. Does that just blow your mind?" Wink, wink into the camera. I'm just like, that was funny. That was really, really good. Um, Also, there was a quick skit where Rick he wiped out on like snowboard. Why would he need to erase that memory? Because he it makes him look human, and that's really, really funny. That's just stupid. But like, so I'm trying to fix my camera. Um, I'll just keep it crooked. Screw it. But I'll just lay like this. But yeah. So maybe maybe Rick isn't the god that he thinks he is, and maybe that's what's fucking him up more. Because in a world where he doesn't believe there's a god, if he's not a god, who is? And that probably scares the shit out of him. So he tries to be a god as much as he can, but he probably failing because again, he's human. Rick is human. No matter how smart you are, you can't predict everything. Like you can sure try your best, but not everything is going to be accounted for. Like he just isn't a god. Um, Summer's last words when she fixed Rick and Morty was like, "No wonder you guys fight all the time, and you're also behind schedule because she fixed their memories." Okay, so basically, Rick and Morty can never really truly grow as a team because whenever Morty takes things too bad or if Rick goes too far, they don't work through the issues. They don't work through the pain. They simply forget it ever happened. And as much as we hate bad experiences and bad moments in life, like no matter how much we want things to go good, they have to go bad for us to learn from it so future events can be good. And it's just that they just cannot build their relationship into something meaningful because eventually a relationship always goes up, but it has to go down. And then if you learn from why it went down, it could soar even higher. But they always just go in the same motion because they never fix why it went down in the first place. And Summer's last words made sense. She said, "It makes sense that like you guys fight all the time, and that's why you're also behind schedule on the show because you fight too much and you forget why you started fighting, which means like all over again, you guys are just gonna start fighting again." And that's really, really crazy. Also about Rick said that like on the paper that Summer read, it said that it was scenario 4. 4 is when is when um Rick and Morty have both lost their memory. It's, and Summer knew what scenario 3 was, and 3 was when Morty lost his memory. I don't know what 2 or 1 is, but 3 is basically just Morty, and 4 is Rick and Morty. And she wasn't surprised, which means like they have essentially like erased each other's memories before, and that's why their family is so dysfunctional all the time because they never grow from these situations. They never fix anything. But and this is why I'm excited for next week's episode because ever since the first season, we just knew that okay, so Rick came back after 20 years after ditching his wife and daughter. Okay, but what happened? How is Beth dealing with the fact that she now has her father back? They barely get any screen time together. They barely ever even hang out. Yeah, I'm like, okay, are we gonna get something out of that? Finally, we do. I think this episode, like next week's episode, is gonna be great. And yeah, I know if any of you guys even watch my reviews, that yeah, I think I said that last week about this episode, because I was expecting a interdimensional like cable episode, and what we got was, I want to say, a cheap imitation, and that's horrible because Rick and Morty made a cheap imitation off of themselves, and that's just so lazy in the way. I feel like if we just got interdimensional cable, it would have been so much funnier. But they try to do something different, and then result, it just was bad. I guess we love interdimensional cable. Why would you fix something that isn't broken? You know, it's crazy. But yeah. So we are gonna get some insight on how both on how Beth is handling the fact that Rick is there, and like, they're gonna actually argue. You see, fighting is not bad. Arguing if like somebody can actually make you guys understand each other, and then like you guys can actually grow from there out of a better relationship. And finally, Beth and Rick are gonna do it. I mean, it's kind of cliche, I think, how they're gonna handle next week's episode, because I feel like Beth is gonna say, "Well, you never spent time for me. You built me all these cool gadgets, but you weren't there for me physically." And Rick is gonna say, "Well, I was too busy. I'm sorry. I gave you everything you wanted," and like he won't comprehend the fact that she wants to see him, not, just be like the perfect dad. And Rick is gonna be like, "Oh, okay, I get it. You want me. I'm wanted. Oh, Beth, I love you." I feel like it's gonna go that way. I hope they're not that. I I really hope that they are not that generic, because if it is, that was so obvious. I really hope it's not. Rick, I like, he really loves his daughter, so I don't think he would be a bad dad. Actually, I just think that he just couldn't understand human emotion. Like, one thing Rick has a hard time of showing is actual genuine emotion, besides sarcasm and hatred. Something a daughter needs is compassion and love, which is something Rick probably just can't do. But I really hope they get past it. I hope they add like a really good twist that Rick and Morty feel, because this episode was weak. It was so weak. If this episode is so weak, I really hope that they bring their A game in next week's episode. I really do, because we've been waiting for this for 3 seasons, almost 3 years, to see Beth and Rick hang out. We're finally gonna get it in Rick and Morty, season 3, episode 9. And until then, guys, please come back. Like this video if you want to. Share it. I'm not sure who's watching or who wants to share this video, but if you want to, I could use it. I could use a comment. I like comments. I want to see who watches my videos. Take suggestions on games, because I'm a little bit too busy. I have a lot of things on my mind, on my plate, to where sometimes I just can't really play games and record. So if you want to have a suggestion of somebody who wants to actually see me play something, it would mean the world to me, and I might actually play it. I might be like, okay, sure. First comment, first come, first serve. I'll do whatever the fuck you want. Thank you. I can't wait for next week's episode. I will try to do it on Tuesday. Come back later, guys. See you later.